Hi guys, Nicholas Montier here, and I've been getting a lot of questions on how to do a virtual open house. So this morning, I'm going to be walking you through really quickly how to actually do a virtual open house. I've been spending a lot of time with one-on-one agents, and I know everybody's got their unique questions around how to effectively do a virtual open house or what that even means. So we're just going to walk through a few steps today. It should only take a few minutes for us to really see what that's supposed to look like. So I'm going to be sharing my screen most of the time with you and kind of be sharing some best practices as to what I feel works the best. So most of the time from what I've been seeing, we're going to be doing this on Facebook. We're going to be doing a Facebook live video. But you want a place to actually do it from. So I'm going to suggest that you go up and open up your business page. For me, I'm going to have to look through here to find a business page here that I can do this on. Let me do it on my bogus one for today. For you, hopefully your business page is not bogus. It's my practice page I can play around with here. And once you get to your business page, hopefully it looks nice, you know, because this is where people might see a presence of you. So making sure that your headshot's there, a nice cover photo would be great, your bio, all of that stuff. So updating that would be a good first step. And then moving here to, you see this little icon that says event. So going ahead and looking at the event icon, clicking there, because what we want to do essentially is create an event around this open house that you're about to do virtually, right? So at the very top, it's going to let you enter in a photo or a video. I highly suggest, guys, if you have a video or even some kind of slideshow video, something to put there, a moving graphic would be a lot better than a stagnant photo. But if you've got a great curb appeal shot of the front of the house, that's okay too. So plug that in there. And then here under event name, this is probably where I'm going to want to showcase the address, you know, 123 Main Street, virtual open house Saturday, maybe something like that. Or maybe you want to make it a little bit more catchy, a little bit more mystical, like you won't believe what you're going to see virtually, you know. Maybe you want to get a little catchy with it, but that's where you put your event name, however you want it to be. Your location, obviously it's off your business page. And then here under description, this is where I'm telling people to write a suggested name. Oh, he doesn't like the way I did it. Okay, well, there you go. Description here, tell people what your event is about. So I like to say live virtual open house Saturday from 1 to 2 p.m. That's another best practice I've been finding is that you don't have to have your open house like you normally would for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. You could just do it for about an hour because most people can schedule their time virtually a lot better than they could schedule their time physically. So 1 to 2 is totally fine. If you want to go longer, more power to you, but this seems to be a best practice that works well. So live virtual open house this Saturday from 1 to 2 p.m. Come check us out here. And then probably here I'd put a little description of the house, you know, maybe not that long essay like paragraph you have on the MLS or something, but maybe something a little bit more creature comfort friendly, maybe just a few details about the house, I would say. Short and sweet would be good. Also to tantalize them and bring them in closer. Under category, I have not found a great category for this, but there's a way to tie the two together. I'll show you in a second. So either home would work well. I've had agents say party works well, networking can work, other is fine. So whatever you figure would work best for you. I've been teaching people to use the home term because I think people would associate real estate with home, right? Even though a couple of agents have said, well, that's more HGTV, I would suggest using the home category. Frequency, this is going to occur once. Unless this is going to occur like a Saturday and a Sunday, you could do 2 days here if you really wanted to. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and type in my day. So today is the 3rd. I'm going to schedule it for tomorrow from, let's say we said 1 p.m., right? 1 to 2. 1. It already got me on the 4th. And we're just going to do an hour. Right? Now, co-host. I know right now, due to the pandemic, you could go ahead and have a co-host, which could have all the same privileges you do over your event. So let's say you don't have access to a house right now, you could make your seller a co-host, and that way they could actually advertise the open house as well. And I would highly suggest that if you have somebody or even a co-agent that you maybe partner with on a regular basis that you want to help promote this open house with, you guys could run simultaneous advertising, all of that jazz. That would be great. So if you can use this option, fantastic. If not, move on. If you're solo, totally okay. Details here, so you can go ahead and add a schedule. For an open house, there's really no point. It's not like the night's going to be, or the day's going to be broken up with like an entry level video and then an outro video and all of that stuff. So I would say leave this alone. It is a kid friendly event, I would assume. Hopefully you're keeping it PC and all that jazz. Admission, I'm not too worried about admission when it comes to my virtual open house. If you wanted to create tickets for people to have them feel like they had to officially commit to your open house, you definitely can. I've gotten little to no feedback on whether this is helpful or not. And that's something to keep in mind too. This video is probably going to be ever evolving. So for right now, I'm keeping it simple, and we can get more and more creative as time goes on. So here under options down here at the bottom, this is important, and it talks about post permissions. I would say let anybody post. And the reason why is that if people had a question on this property, if they found it online, and they wanted to go ahead and write something on your wall, or just chime in ahead of time while you're advertising this, because that is the goal, is to advertise this open house. It would be great for them to be able to post. So I would say anyone can post. And then maybe if you're worried about somebody posting something nasty or weird on your wall, I've heard of weirdos chiming in on people's Facebook pages before. So if you're worried about it or concerned, you can always check this box, which would allow posts that need to be approved by you or your co-hosts. All right. For me, I'm going to leave it unchecked. I'm not too worried about people writing on my event. Messaging, people can ask questions about your event on Messenger. So they could actually message you through Messenger about your event ahead of time. So I would say that this is a great option. For those of you that don't know, Messenger is the instant messaging service built within Facebook. It's that little bubble icon up here. It's also its own app on your phone. So that's a great option as well. Guest list. I do not like to display the guest list, and I'll tell you why. Because a lot of times agents or people in general, when they're going to an event, the biggest question is, well, who else is going? Who else is going? Who else is going? If they know that other people are going, or they see somebody on that list that they maybe don't like or whatnot, or maybe they see that nobody's signed up for your event and then they don't want to go either, I would suggest leaving it so that they can't see the guest list, that if they want to go, they go. And that way it takes that kind of curiosity out of their mind, or they don't have access to it. Totally up to you. If you think it's important to display your guest list, go for it. I think it's better to not display your guest list. So then when we're finished with that, that's pretty much it for your event. It's very simple to set up an event on Facebook on your business page, and I'm going to hit publish. And what's nice about Facebook is it kind of leads you from one step into the next. And you're going to notice that right away, a window pops up and it says, get more responses to 123 Main Street Virtual Open House Saturday by boosting your event. And I want you to click on boost your event, because right now what we want to do is attract as many people to this event as we possibly can. So boosting an event is kind of like a lightweight ad. And I only say that because you're not going to get all the amazing benefits of running this through a legitimate Facebook ad. And I'm not going to incorporate that into this video today, just because it's a very complex process. So I'm trying to keep this video simple for those of you that this is your first time doing this. All right. So boost your event, and it'll take us to what is now going to be literally an ad. So off to the right-hand side, you can see how your event is going to be promoted. And off to the left, you can see how you're actually going to build out your ad. And as you drop it down, you'll see that there's a single image at the top. Again, I would suggest changing this for at least a slideshow with up to 10 images of your property, which would be super cool, or a video. So again, that slideshow video, or if you even have a virtual walkthrough video that you did, any kind of video I think would be a lot better than doing a single image, just because they get so much more traction online. So that's my idea there. They do have free stock images. Not a super big fan. And again, you can obviously browse your library here. So if I was to go ahead and pick an image, I clicked on that Browse for Images tab, and I can go through and select what I have here, or I can go ahead and upload more images. So that video file would need to be on your computer in order to do this, all right? And you can also pull from stock, your page, or Instagram as well. So that's kind of fun too. So if you've uploaded your video to Instagram, you could go ahead and pull it from there as well. All right, your text. I've gotten some mixed feedback on this. A lot of people think to keep it simpler, the better. So I would too. I would put live virtual open house. I would put the address here. It only gives you 90 characters, so be very cautious with how you use that 90 characters. And maybe use it as a call to action. Like, I can't believe you could own this house for, maybe like a rent versus own. You could own this house for $2,500 a month. Check us out virtually on Saturday. Maybe something simple like that. But play with that text. And this is very much trial and error, guys. I've noticed ads that I said would never work, totally work amazingly well for certain people, and others that don't work so well, that I thought would work really great, don't work as well. So play with this. This is something hopefully just like you should be doing open houses every Saturday and Sunday. Normally, you're doing this also virtually every single weekend too. All right, so it's not a special ad category. Don't worry about that for now. Audience, we're gonna go here to edit at the very top, because right now it keeps your audience very basic. Keeps it at 18 to 65 plus. And this is where I want you guys to really understand and know your community. If you're a Coldwell Banker agent watching this, you know that you've got a tool called CVX Buyer Locator. If you just type in any address into CVX Buyer Locator, it gives you all the data you need to know for where your buyer's coming from before they actually buy that property. So that's pretty awesome. So if you're a Coldwell Banker agent, you know exactly what to do. For anybody else watching this video, hopefully you've got some good analytics, or you understand what your market really pulls in. I've sat with agents in the past week, and they are like, oh, my whole community is all seniors. So there's no point in even focusing on anybody below 50 or 55. And so you can go ahead and just click that. So 55 to 65 plus, that takes care of that demographic. And then here it opens us up to all of California. Probably not a great idea to not spread our ad dollars too thin. So we're gonna wanna go here and, if you're in Long Beach, maybe type in Long Beach. Again, this is where you really wanna become that neighborhood expert and understand where your people are coming from. That's a really good idea. And then here where it says 25 miles plus, probably want to shrink that down. When people are using CVX Buyer Locator, sometimes property will be pulling agents or pulling clientele from Torrance, Palos Verdes, Long Beach, Lakewood, even Cerritos. And so if it's really saturated within a core area, maybe using that radius of 10 miles, not 25, but maybe 10 miles would be a good idea, because then it kind of canvases that overall area. Totally depends though on what your data looks like and how you're trying to target people that way. And then down here, I'm not going to spend too much time today on how to add in demographics or interests, but because this could go on for an hour. But if you are worried about detailed targeting, which I think most of us are, we probably want to type in real estate as an interest for people, right? If I can spell. So down here, real estate interests in real estate, right? And for those of you that are looking for actually bringing in realtors, right? Because right now we can't have open house. So a lot of ways for agents to actually find our property where who have the buyers is a bit more difficult. So maybe you do actually want to pull in realtors, realtor, and actually look down here and see if you can find realtor as a job suggestion. I can't seem to find it. Also realtor.com, that's always good. I like to pull in where people are actually searching. So a lot of people are looking on realtor.com, they're looking on Zillow. If we go down here, we want to maybe capture people with a certain amount of income. So you can actually target different income brackets if you know that your area is a luxury neighborhood and you want to make sure you're capturing people who make a certain amount of money. The top 5% of zip codes, top 10%, 10 to 25%, so on and so forth. So this can get a little bit wonky with how deep you really want to go. Just keep in mind your audience is constantly being defined down here. And this really goes to show you how much reach you're going to have. So your potential audience size right now with just these few things, I haven't really typed a whole lot in here, is 74,000 people. So a lot of us have our own best practices on how much of an audience we want to have. It's saying that it's a defined, you've done a really good job at keeping it this way. You'll notice if you get down to about a 25,000 person audience, it'll start to tell you that, hey, this is probably too defined. We're probably not doing a great job. And this little meter will go from green to red. So again, making sure that it's within that green zone is usually a pretty good rule of thumb. And again, feel free to get as creative with this. There's so many different things here. I had an agent the other day who said he's got oceanfront property, and you can go ahead and type in beach lovers and all these different things here to kind of help pull in people who maybe are looking for a coastal lifestyle or beachfront property or so on and so forth. So play with this when you have a chance. It's really fun. All right, now that we have our audience defined for our event, we get down here to budget. I've talked to a lot of social media gurus. They always say don't spend less than 50 bucks on a Facebook ad, even though you can only spend 20 or $25. They just said you're going to get a lot more organic reach. Totally up to you. You'll notice that as you take this little dial back and forth, the money goes up and the money goes down. So if you're trying to spend less money, maybe just start with $25 for your Facebook ad. Keep in mind that my ad is geared for tomorrow, which means I've only got one day. So no matter how much money I try to spend on this, I've only got a day. So I would suggest you guys, because today's Friday, I would suggest you guys do this on a like Wednesday or a Thursday to give yourselves a few days to spread your ad dollars over. I think that would be a great rule of thumb. And again, keep in mind that as the dollar amount goes up, also my reach is going up. So this also tabs up and down to give you that potential reach. And the cool thing is, guys, once you're done running this ad, you're going to get a great analytics report so you can kind of see how your ad did. Here is your Facebook pixel. For those of you that are familiar, this is a tracking device. If this is tabbed gray, if you're new to this, don't worry about it for today. That's okay. If for those of you that want to get further in depth with Facebook Pixel, feel free to message me. I'm actually having a lot of fun with Facebook Pixel right now, but it's a bit more of a further class than what we're talking about today. And then down here, it talks about payment information. Once you've figured out your payment information, go ahead and hit boost. All right. So that's pretty much how to put together an ad. So you guys can be successful with at least getting your open house virtual. So I would go ahead and hit boost for today. I'm going to hit cancel just because I was showing you guys an example. And then down here, you guys are going to notice, now let's say that it's Thursday and it's 2 days out from our open house on Saturday. I would want to go ahead and fill this area out with some examples of what's actually going on, what's actually happening with my property. So maybe you've got some great insights on the neighborhood. Maybe you've got a virtual tour that you did. Maybe you've got a Matterport, like 3D virtual tour, which would be super cool to show on here, or a YouTube video, any kind of content. My goal for you would be to build this out so that people can actually see what this home could potentially be for them, or get familiar with that property ahead of time. Because keep in mind, if you're promoting this property on Facebook and Instagram or wherever you're trying to showcase it, even to your friends and family, you want to be able to have them go to something and not just wait until Saturday when this event is happening. So filling this area out with some great content would be fantastic. I went ahead and created another event. Let me get back to my page and just kind of show you what I mean. Let's see what I got here for events. Yeah, I think this is my virtual open house from yesterday. And look at that. People are already actually going. How funny. That's hilarious. So down here on my C posts, I went ahead and filled out some posts. So this is what yours could potentially look like as well. This was me going live yesterday as a practice, but I went ahead and I put in my virtual tour that I went ahead and did, a walkthrough video that I did of the property down here. So this was on the page ahead of time while I was advertising the property. This is also a website that's built out specifically for the property. So what's cool is that even though I haven't advertised this yet, people are going to have something to go to before that virtual open house comes around in a day or so. So again, putting some content on the page could really do you a lot of good. And let's say you've done all that, you've put together the event, you've boosted it now, you've got some great content on your page for people to actually come to and get to know the property a little bit better before the day of. Let's say that you're ready to go now. So here you would go and click on this little live video. Let's say it's 12:59 on Saturday and we're ready to go. So let's go ahead and hit live. Now I know a lot of people are super scared about going live, and you see me now and you know that once I go ahead and hit this dismiss button and I type a little something about my property, check us out at 123 Main Street, even though that's not a thing. We're going to go down here, make sure all your settings are good to go. You'll notice that it obviously has, I have my microphone working for me. I have had some agents say, well, you know, I can't hear myself when I'm on Zoom calls, or I can't hear myself and blah, 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 blah. And I've said, well, it's probably because you don't have a mic. And people don't really take that into consideration. So if you're on a laptop, there's likely a mic built in. If not, you know, feel free to go online, even to Amazon. These are not in super high demand right now, so you can go ahead and get a mic pretty cheap and pretty quickly. A little lavalier would work fine for you, and you can plug that into your computer if you really want to. So with that being said, we're ready to go. You can add a title to your video if you would like, and then we're gonna go live. Now, I know a lot of people get scared, like you're going to make a mistake or something bad is going to happen. Guys, keep in mind, it's live. It's not the end of the world. Make sure that your lavalier is on and that you are ready to go. Or again, if you have a laptop, just your speakers built in. So this is pretty much a live video. And what I would do in this sense, you look at my screen, you've got an area to chat with people over here. Maybe you type a nice little welcome message, like feel free to ask any questions or comment on 123 Main Street. I am happy to help. Very cool. So I go ahead and hit enter. Now that's commented there. So anybody joining now my live broadcast can see that comment, and then they can actually engage, right? So that's pretty cool. And what I would probably do is, as just like an open house, guys, as people have questions, I'd go ahead and pick up my laptop and I would walk them through the property and go ahead and show them, right? That's probably what you want to do. Or maybe somebody will actually chime in on your live video and they'll want to see exactly a specific part of the house maybe that they didn't get to see before. It's totally up to you and how you want to handle it, all right? Or how, whatever questions you can help that consumer ask or answer, sorry. So does that make any sense? You could do this on your phone. You can do this on an iPad. I know some people have some pretty clunky laptops. They're like, hey, I would never do this on a laptop. It's possible on all platforms, guys. So don't worry about whether you're doing this on a phone, you know, iPad or whatnot. It's all possible. So that's pretty much it for today. A couple of other best practices just to keep in mind, guys. An agent the other day mentioned to me about doing a video writer or a writer on his property that said, hey, check me out virtually. So if you have a sign in the front yard on your property and you're wondering, how do I promote an open house even physically? Doing a writer I thought was a really great idea. And what you would do is essentially put a writer on there that says, check me out virtually, Saturday 1 to 2. And then you'd point it to a domain or a URL for that property. A lot of you have custom domains like, you know, 123mainstreet.com for your properties, and point it to your Facebook business page or point it to your Facebook event page just like this. So when people want to check it out virtually 1 to 2 on Saturday, it brings them directly to this page. You just have to go and manage your domain settings wherever the domain's being hosted and make sure that the forwarding is done properly. I can help you out with all of that. Feel free to message below this video if you want me to walk you through what that looks like, pointing your domain to a new place. And that's pretty much it. So again, I hope you guys take this seriously and really do a virtual open house. It's super simple. You notice that within the past 5-10 minutes, I've been able to set it up from start to finish, and I've been talking an awful lot. So it doesn't have to be that crazy. I'm going to stop sharing my page here. For other questions or concerns, keep in mind that this is going to be an ever-evolving process. Today was super simple, very basic. So if you want to take it to that next level, feel free to message me and we'll take it to the next level. All right, thanks guys so much for tuning in. And this has been a virtual open house by Nicholas Montier.